Raven Blackwood stared at the holographic invoice floating above her workbench, the numbers swimming before her tired eyes. Another month of scraping by, another stack of bills she couldn't pay. The quantum drive repair shop she'd built from scratch was slowly dying, crushed under the weight of corporate competition and rising equipment costs. "End display," she muttered, waving away the depressing figures. The workshop's dim lights caught the grease stains on her dark coveralls as she began shutting down for the night. Her long black hair was tied back in a messy braid, strands escaping to frame a face that looked older than its 30 years. The quantum calibrator on her bench chirped a warning unusual energy readings. Raven frowned, checking the diagnostic screen. The readings made no sense, showing patterns she'd never seen in 15 years of working with quantum technology. "Hello, mechanic." Raven spun around, her hand instinctively reaching for the plasma torch at her belt. Two figures stood in her workshop where moments before there had been nothing but shadows. They were unmistakably female, tall and ethereal with silvery skin that seemed to ripple like mercury. Their eyes held no pupils, just swirling pools of starlight. "We require your assistance," said the taller one, her voice carrying harmonic undertones that made Raven's quantum tools resonate in sympathy. "Shop's closed," Raven replied, keeping her voice steady despite her racing heart. "Come back during business hours." The shorter being glided forward with liquid grace. "I am Thalia," she said. "My sister is Naira. We offer an exchange." "Not interested in whatever you're selling." Raven's fingers tightened on the plasma torch. "Doors that way." "We don't wish to purchase anything," Naira said, moving to examine the quantum drive components scattered across the workbench. "We offer knowledge, power, a way to save your failing business." Raven stiffened. "How do you know about?" "We see much," Thalia interrupted. "Including the potential within you. Your understanding of quantum mechanics is impressive for your species." "Thanks, I think." Raven studied them more carefully. Their forms seemed to shift and flow as if physical matter was an ill-fitting costume they'd borrowed. "What are you?" "We are quantum resonance," Naira explained. "Beings of pure energy from a dimension where consciousness and quantum states are one. This form is merely an interface." "Right," Raven lowered the plasma torch but didn't put it down. "And what exactly do you want from me?" The sisters exchanged a look that seemed to ripple through the air between them. "We seek experience," Thalia said, "understanding of your physical realm. In exchange, we offer knowledge of quantum manipulation beyond your current scientific grasp." "Knowledge that could revolutionize your repair techniques," Naira added. "Save failing drives others would scrap. Reverse decay cascades thought impossible to fix." Raven's mind raced with the possibilities. With that kind of knowledge, she could undercut the corporate shops, build a real business instead of barely surviving. It was too good to be true. "What's the catch?" "The exchange requires integration," Thalia said, "a merging of consciousness, temporary at first but potentially permanent if all parties agree." "You want to merge consciousness with me?" Raven barked out a laugh. "Yeah, that's not happening." "The process is safe," Naira assured her. "We have done this before, though never with one so attuned to quantum mechanics. Your understanding makes you uniquely compatible." As if to demonstrate, Thalia reached out and touched a burned-out quantum regulator. Silver energy flowed from her fingers, and suddenly the component hummed to life, its diagnostic lights glowing brighter than new. Raven picked up the regulator, examining it with professional curiosity. The quantum field was perfectly aligned, better than factory specs. "How did you?" "That is merely a fraction of what we could teach you," Thalia said. "Through the merger, you would gain direct understanding of quantum manipulation at the deepest level." "And what do you get out of it?" Raven asked. "Besides experience of our realm." "Knowledge flows both ways," Naira explained. "We learn from you as you learn from us, and," she hesitated, exchanging another rippling look with her sister, "we seek sanctuary." "From what?" "There are those who would study us, contain us, use our abilities for their own ends." Thalia's form flickered slightly. "The merger would help mask our energy signatures." Raven set down the restored regulator, thoughts churning. It was insane to even consider this. Yet something about them called to her, resonating with the part of her that had always sensed there was more to quantum mechanics than current science could explain. A sharp knock at the workshop door made them all turn. "Inspection," called a stern voice. "Corporate Compliance Division, open up." "Corporate cops," Raven hissed. "How did they?" "They detected our energy signature," Naira said. We must decide quickly. They will shut down your business regardless, Thalia added. Your licenses are expired, your equipment uncertified, but together we could escape. Start fresh elsewhere. The pounding grew louder. Final warning, open this door or we'll breach. Raven looked at the workshop she'd poured her life into, now crumbling around her. At the strange beings offering an impossible chance. At the door about to burst inward. How does this merger work? She asked. The sisters moved forward in perfect synchronization, their silver skin rippling with barely contained energy. Open yourself to us, Thalia said softly. Let go of physical limitations. Trust, Naira added, reaching for Raven's hand, and embrace the quantum nature of consciousness. As their fingers touched, Raven felt energy surge through her body. The world dissolved into streams of probability and potential, matter becoming waves of possibility. She was falling through layers of reality, merging with beings of pure quantum resonance who showed her truths about the universe she'd never imagined. The workshop door exploded inward in a shower of sparks, but Raven barely noticed. She was too busy being reborn as something new, something that existed between the quantum and the physical, something that would change everything. When the corporate officers burst in with weapons raised, they found only an empty workshop, tools scattered as if dropped in a hurry. On the workbench, a quantum regulator pulsed with silver light before fading to darkness. The journey had begun. Raven's hands danced across the ship's controls, her movements guided by newfound instincts. The small maintenance vessel she'd borrowed from her workshop's storage bay responded like an extension of her consciousness, quantum drives purring with unprecedented efficiency. They're still following, Naira observed from the co-pilot's seat, her silvery form rippling with concern. 3 corporate security cruisers maintained steady pursuit, their weapon systems charged and ready. They can try, Raven muttered, feeling the quantum energy flowing through her body. The merger had changed her in ways she was only beginning to understand. Her skin held a subtle metallic sheen, and she could perceive quantum fields as easily as visible light. Your adaptation progresses faster than expected, Thalia noted, monitoring the ship's systems with a touch. The resonance between us grows stronger. Raven nodded, trying to focus on flying while processing the flood of new sensations. She could feel the sisters' presence in her mind, their consciousness intertwined with hers like strands of quantum-entangled particles. Their knowledge flowed freely, theories and techniques far beyond current human science. Warning, the ship's computer announced. Quantum disruptor lock detected. They're using prototype weapons, Naira said, her voice carrying harmonics of worry, designed to destabilize quantum fields. Including us, Thalia added grimly. Raven's enhanced perception saw the weapon's target lock as a web of probability curves, seeking to collapse their quantum state into something more conventional. Not happening, she growled, reaching deeper into her new abilities. She felt Thalia and Naira's energy merge with hers, their combined consciousness extending into the ship's quantum drive. The sisters' knowledge flowed through her, showing her how to manipulate fields in ways that should have been impossible. The maintenance vessel's humble engines suddenly blazed with silver fire. Reality bent around them as Raven executed a maneuver that violated several laws of physics, sliding between quantum states to emerge behind their pursuers. How did you? Naira began, impressed. Just felt right, Raven replied with a grin, like the quantum fields were giving me suggestions. You're learning to see as we do, Thalia explained. The quantum nature of reality is becoming clear to you. A warning klaxon interrupted them. More corporate security ships were appearing ahead, cutting off their escape route. The quantum disruptors were charging again. We need to jump, Naira urged. The nearest safe harbor is. No time for calculations, Raven interrupted, feeling the disruptor lock building. Hold on to something. She plunged her awareness directly into the quantum drive, using her merged consciousness to perceive all possible destinations simultaneously. The sisters' energy flowed with hers, helping her navigate the quantum probability space. The ship shuddered as reality twisted around them. Stars blurred into quantum uncertainty, physical space becoming meaningless as they rode the wave of possibility. When they emerged, they were somewhere else entirely. A massive purple nebula filled the view screen, its clouds dancing with quantum energy that Raven could now see and feel. They had jumped farther than any conventional drive could manage. The quantum veil, Thalia breathed, her form rippling with emotion. You found it instinctively. What is this place? Raven asked, watching patterns of energy flow through the nebula like neural pathways in some vast cosmic brain. A natural quantum phenomenon, Naira explained. A region where the barrier between dimensions grows thin. Few humans have ever seen it. It's beautiful, Raven whispered. The nebula's quantum dance resonated with her changed consciousness, making her feel more awake and alive than ever before. We should be safe here temporarily, Thalia said. The energy patterns will mask our signature. Raven leaned back in the pilot's seat, finally letting herself process everything that had happened. In the span of a few hours, she'd gone from failing mechanic to quantum-enhanced fugitive merged with interdimensional beings. So, she said, turning to face the sisters, want to tell me what corporate security wants with you badly enough to use experimental weapons? Thalia and Naira exchanged one of their rippling looks, but this time Raven could feel the communication passing between them. Concern, uncertainty, and a deep fear of something they called the collectors. Our kind rarely interfaces directly with physical matter, Thalia began. We observe, we study, we learn, but we maintain distance. We were different, Naira continued. We believed true understanding required immersion, experience. The corporations discovered our experiments with physical form. They want to study you, Raven guessed. Figure out how to weaponize your abilities. Among other things, Thalia confirmed. They believe our quantum manipulation could revolutionize everything from computing to weapons technology. They do not understand that our abilities come from what we are, not simply what we know. But I can do it now, Raven pointed out. The merger gave me access to your abilities. Because you opened yourself to fundamental change, Naira explained. The merger isn't just sharing knowledge, it's allowing your consciousness to evolve, to exist partially in our quantum state of being. Is that permanent? Raven asked, watching silver energy play across her skin. That depends, Thalia said softly, on what you choose. Before Raven could ask what that meant, proximity alerts blared. Multiple ships were emerging from quantum space around them, sleek, black vessels unlike the corporate security cruisers. Collectors, Naira hissed, her form flickering with distress. Independent hunters, Thalia explained quickly. They seek unique specimens for private collectors, far more dangerous than corporate forces. Raven's enhanced senses detected exotic energy weapons powering up on the approaching ships. The quantum fields around them twisted with predatory intent. Time to go, she asked, hands already moving to the controls. Wait, Thalia said, the merger is still stabilizing. Another blind jump could damage the quantum bonds forming between us. Then we fight, Raven decided, feeling the sisters' energy surge in agreement. As the collector ships moved to surround them, Raven reached deeper into her new abilities, letting quantum knowledge flow through her transformed consciousness. She didn't just see the ship systems anymore. She saw the quantum probability of victory, shimmering like a path through the stars. The real question was whether they were ready to walk it together. The quantum regulator exploded in a shower of silver sparks, sending Raven stumbling backward. She caught herself against the maintenance vessel's engine housing, her transformed consciousness automatically analyzing the damage. The drive can't take much more, she called out to Thalia and Naira. The sisters were at the ship's bow, using their combined energy to maintain a quantum barrier against the collector's weapons. Their containment fields are growing stronger, Naira reported, her silvery form flickering with effort. They're adapting to our frequency. 3 days of running, hiding, and fighting had pushed them all to their limits. The collectors were relentless, their ships equipped with technology specifically designed to capture beings like Thalia and Naira. Only Raven's growing mastery of quantum mechanics, enhanced by the merger, had kept them ahead so far. We need to reach the Perseus arm, Thalia insisted. The abandoned sector's there. Another hit rocked the ship. Raven felt the impact through her quantum-enhanced senses, seeing probability waves shatter and reform. The merger had progressed further than any of them expected, transforming her into something between human and quantum resonant. Perseus' arm is too far, she argued, moving to repair the damaged regulator. Her fingers traced quantum fields directly now, weaving them back into alignment. We'll never make it with the drive in this condition. There may be another way, Naira said, exchanging a meaningful look with her sister. But it requires trust, complete integration. Raven paused in her repairs. The initial merger had been overwhelming enough, opening her consciousness to quantum reality. What they were suggesting now. You mean removing the barriers completely, she said, letting the transformation finish. Yes, Thalia's form rippled with concern, but the risk is significant. No human has ever. The ship shuddered as another containment field tried to lock on. Through the view screen, Raven could see more collector vessels emerging from quantum space, their black hulls absorbing light like cosmic predators. Explain quickly, she ordered, fingers dancing across the quantum fields to redirect power. Complete integration would allow us to exist between states, Naira began, neither fully physical nor purely quantum. We could slip through their containment fields. Because we wouldn't truly be in either reality, Raven finished, understanding flowing through their connected consciousness. But the change would be irreversible, Thalia said softly. You would never be fully human again. Raven looked down at her hands, watching silver energy play beneath her skin. She thought of her old life, the struggling repair shop, the endless bills, the loneliness of knowing she saw the universe differently than everyone around her. Had that life ever really fit? What happens if we don't? She asked, already knowing the answer. The collectors will eventually adapt to our current quantum signature, Naira explained. They will capture us, study us, try to weaponize our abilities, and they will do far worse to you, the first human to successfully merge with our kind. Another impact sent power fluctuations cascading through the ship's systems. The quantum barrier was failing, reality becoming dangerously solid around them. How do we do this? Raven asked. The sisters moved in perfect synchronization, their forms flowing like liquid starlight as they approached. Open yourself completely, Thalia instructed. Let go of physical limitation. Embrace the space between states, Naira added, reaching for Raven's hand. As their energy merged fully, Raven felt the last barriers in her consciousness dissolve. The transformation that had begun in her workshop completed itself, rewriting her at the quantum level. It should have been terrifying, but instead it felt like coming home. She saw reality as it truly was, not solid matter, but waves of probability and potential. The ship around them wasn't just a physical object, but a quantum expression of infinite possibilities. And in this state, they could choose which possibility to inhabit. The collectors' containment fields passed harmlessly through them as their existence became uncertain, caught between realities. Raven felt Thalia and Naira's joy at her acceptance, their consciousness now so intertwined that individual thoughts were meaningless. Together, they quantum shifted the ship through space that wasn't space, riding probability waves between the stars. The collectors' weapons found no target, their sensors unable to lock onto something that existed in multiple states simultaneously. When they emerged, the Perseus arm stretched before them, a vast region of abandoned space stations and derelict colonies. Here, in the quantum-rich debris of fallen civilizations, they could hide, adapt, and explore their new shared existence. It's different now, Raven observed, watching reality shift and flow around her transformed perceptions. I don't just see quantum fields, I am them. As are we all, Thalia agreed, her energy harmonizing with Raven's. Three consciousness resonating as one. But our journey isn't over, Naira reminded them. The collectors will keep searching, and there are others who will come, drawn by what we've become. Raven smiled, feeling infinite possibility ripple through her quantum-enhanced being. Let them come. We'll show them what happens when you exist between worlds. She guided their ship deeper into the Perseus arm, their merged consciousness already adapting to its new state of being. They were neither fully physical nor purely quantum, but something new, something that could reshape reality itself. The true question was, what would they choose to become next? The abandoned space station hung in the quantum void like a forgotten dream, its twisted corridors echoing with the resonance of past civilizations. Raven moved through the shadows, her quantum-enhanced form shifting between states of existence as she explored. They're close, she communicated through the merged consciousness she shared with Thalia and Naira. The sisters were elsewhere in the station, setting quantum traps for their pursuers. 2 weeks had passed since their transformation, and the collectors had finally tracked them to this remote corner of the Perseus arm. But this time, they were ready. The master collector approaches, Thalia's thoughts rippled through their connection. His ship carries technology we've never encountered. Raven paused at an intersection, her altered senses perceiving quantum probabilities branching like neural pathways. The station's ancient systems still held power, waiting to be awakened by someone who could speak their quantum language. Let him come, she thought back, placing her hand against a seemingly dead control panel. Silver energy flowed from her fingers, merging with the station's dormant quantum matrix. This is our territory now. The Master Collector's vessel docked with surgical precision, its black hull absorbing ambient quantum energy like a cosmic leech. Through their shared consciousness, Raven felt Nyra's recognition and fear. Dominic Vale, Nyra's thoughts carried memories of previous encounters. He's collected more unique specimens than any other hunter. His private museum spans 3 artificial worlds. And now he wants us, Thalia added. The first successful human quantum merger, his greatest prize. Raven accessed the station's systems through her quantum connection, watching Vale's team spread through the corridors. They moved with practiced efficiency, carrying containment devices that hummed with exotic energy. Still thinking like physical beings, she observed, trying to catch quantum entities with material technology. Don't underestimate him, Thalia warned. Vale understands more about quantum mechanics than any other human, except you now. The first quantum trap activated as Vale's hunters reached the lower levels. Reality twisted, probability waves collapsing to trap 3 agents in a pocket of uncertain space-time. Their screams echoed through quantum frequencies before fading to silence. Very clever, a cultured voice echoed through the station's comm system, using the station's own quantum matrix against us. But did you really think I came unprepared? A pulse of anti-quantum energy swept through the corridors, temporarily forcing everything into a fixed state of reality. Raven gasped as her quantum nature was briefly suppressed, the merger with Thalia and Nyra straining against sudden limitation. You see, Vale continued, his voice carrying genuine fascination. I've studied quantum beings for decades, learned their weaknesses, and you, my transformed friend, are something entirely new. Imagine what we could learn from you. We are not your specimens, Raven broadcast back, letting her voice ripple through quantum frequencies. This isn't a collection, it's a transformation, evolution. All the more reason to study you, Vale replied. Humanity's next step perhaps, but evolution needs guidance, structure, my facility could provide that. Through their connection, Raven felt Thalia and Nyra moving to flank Vale's position. The station's quantum matrix pulsed with growing power as she fed more energy into its ancient systems. You still don't understand, she said, letting probability waves carry her voice from multiple locations simultaneously. We're not just using quantum mechanics, we've become quantum mechanics. Vale's laughter echoed through the corridors. You think I don't know that? Why do you think I brought this? A new energy signature bloomed in Raven's quantum perception, something vast and hungry, consuming probability itself. Through their shared consciousness, she felt Thalia's shock. A quantum singularity, Nyra's thoughts carried desperate warning. He's created a localized collapse point. Either you surrender, Vale announced, or I collapse all quantum probability in this sector. Either way, I get my specimens, though I prefer them intact. Raven felt the singularity's pull growing stronger, threatening to lock them into a single state of reality. Their quantum nature rebelled against the constraint, seeking escape through probability. But as she prepared to respond, a new sensation rippled through their merged consciousness. Something impossible was happening in the quantum fields around them, as if reality itself was choosing sides. The real game was about to begin. The quantum singularity pulsed like a dark star, threatening to collapse all probability into a single fixed reality. But Raven, Thalia, and Nyra were no longer bound by such limitations. You feel it too, Raven communicated through their merged consciousness, sensing the sisters' growing awareness of what was happening around them. The station, Thalia confirmed, it's not just a quantum matrix. It's awakening, Nyra added, wonder rippling through their connection. The abandoned station systems weren't simply responding to their quantum manipulation. They were evolving, transforming in response to the presence of beings who existed between states. Ancient quantum technology, dormant for millennia, was achieving its own form of consciousness. Vale's voice crackled through the comm system, tension breaking through his cultured tones. The singularity is stable, you have nowhere to run, no probability states left to hide in. Running was never the plan, Raven broadcast back, letting her voice emerge from every quantum field simultaneously. We just needed time to wake something up. The station's quantum matrix surged with newfound awareness, recognizing kindred beings in its midst. Reality began to shift and flow as probability waves took on patterns never before seen in this dimension. Impossible, Vale whispered, his sensors detecting the transformation. The quantum fields are self-organizing. Through their shared consciousness, Raven felt Thalia and Naira's understanding merge with her own. The station wasn't just a structure, it was a gateway, built by a civilization that had achieved their own quantum transcendence. You wanted to study evolution, Raven called out, her form shifting between states as she approached Vale's position. Watch carefully. The station's quantum fields resonated with their merged consciousness, amplifying their ability to exist between realities. Vale's singularity wavered as probability itself refused to be constrained to single outcomes. The readings, Vale's fascination overwhelmed his caution. You're not just manipulating quantum mechanics, you're changing its fundamental nature. No, Thalia's voice joined Raven's, resonating through quantum frequencies. We're remembering what it always was. Reality isn't solid, Naira added, completing their harmony. It's a conversation between possibilities. The station's awakened systems joined their quantum chorus, creating patterns of probability that defied traditional physics. Vale's containment technology sparked and failed as reality itself rejected the concept of capture. Please, Vale's voice held desperate eagerness. Let me document this. The transformation you've achieved, it could revolutionize everything we know about quantum physics. That's still thinking too small, Raven replied, feeling the station's quantum gateway responding to their presence. This isn't about physics anymore, it's about transcendence. Through their merged consciousness, they could see the gateway's true purpose, a bridge between dimensions, created by beings who had evolved beyond the limitations of physical space-time. Join us, Thalia offered, Vale, genuine compassion flowing through their connection. Let go of the need to contain and control, become part of the transformation. For a moment, they felt Vale's consciousness waver, touched by the possibility of something greater than his collection. But fear and the need for control ran too deep. No, he snarled, activating his singularity's final sequence. If I can't have you as specimens, I'll collapse this entire sector into quantum certainty. Nothing will remain undefined. But he had waited too long. The station's quantum gateway was fully awake now, responding to the combined will of three beings who had transcended the boundary between physical and quantum existence. Reality rippled outward from their merged consciousness, probability waves carrying transformation through the very fabric of spacetime. Vale's singularity collapsed in on itself, its attempt to enforce certainty overwhelmed by the infinite possibilities they had unleashed. As the gateway reached full power, Raven felt new quantum dimensions opening before them, realms where consciousness and reality flowed as one, where the barriers between thought and existence had never formed. We could go, Thalia suggested, her essence harmonizing with the gateway's quantum frequencies. Join the others who have transcended. Leave this limited realm behind, Naira agreed. Raven considered the gateway's invitation, feeling infinite possibility calling to their merged consciousness. But she also felt something else, echoes of other quantum signatures, other beings beginning their own journey of transformation. Or we could stay, she proposed, sharing her perception through their connection. Guide others who are ready to transcend, build a bridge between realities. The sister's consciousness resonated with her suggestion, recognizing the beauty of joining evolution to understanding. They had become something entirely new, not just transformed beings, but transformative ones. Vale's unconscious form lay crumpled beside his failed singularity device, his mind touched by glimpses of what he had refused to embrace. They would ensure he returned safely to normal space, perhaps changed enough to reconsider his obsession with containing the infinite. The station's quantum gateway settled into a stable resonance with their merged consciousness, becoming a nexus point between dimensions. Here, they could exist between states, helping others understand the true nature of reality while exploring their own continuing evolution. The quantum veil never hid anything, Raven realized, sharing the epiphany through their connection. It was always an invitation. To remember what we truly are, Thalia agreed. Infinite possibility, Naira completed the thought, learning to dance. Together, they reached out through quantum fields that spanned dimensions, their merged consciousness singing with the joy of existence undefined by limitation. They had become more than quantum mechanics, more than transcendent beings. They had become possibility itself, and their story was just beginning.